Hey folks, welcome to Physical Geology Lab. I just wanted to walk you through where you can find all of your lab content and how the semester will be kind of set up for you in lab. So I'm actually in the process of right now recording a new video, and you'll see this video right here. Obviously you know that because you clicked on it. So here is the way your lab is broken down for the semester, and you can see a lot of the hidden folders and assignments that I have open, or that I can see that you will eventually be able to see. So let me backtrack for a second here. Everything you'll need for this class in terms of identifying what's due when is located right here. You can open this in a new tab if you like, and then click here. You can print this out. This is a nice PDF that illustrates for you exactly what you are expected to do and when you're expected to do it. So let's walk through this chart real quick. So every week you will have assignments due on a Saturday, and so there's your due date there. There will be both lecture and lab assignments due. This is a class where if you were taking it in person, you would be in class for 6 hours a week, so you should anticipate more than 6 hours a week for classes, not only because this is a shortened time period because it's summer, but then also because that will also include study time and homework time. So these are the lecture assignments that are due by the end of the week 1, and you can see the points for those. Now in addition, because you're in a course that is combined lecture and lab course, there's also some lab assignments that are due for week 1, and you can see that your lab assignments are pretty hefty. Especially the beginning of the semester, they kind of ease up a little bit towards the end, but you have for this first week a mineral pre-lab, Minerals 1, Minerals 2, and the Intro to Rocks. That's also a pre-lab assignment. And then you can see the points that are awarded. So if we're just going to look real quick in this last column here about lab assignments, I just want to give you a quick overview of lab. So the first quarter of lab is spent learning about minerals, and minerals are the building blocks of rocks. There's a lot of work. Not only in Minerals 1, you'll basically be learning to identify minerals. Minerals 2, you're going to be learning how to remember how you identify minerals. What are the hints that is going to help you identify a fluorite? Because by the end of week 2, you will be taking a practical where you will be identifying fluorite and all the other 29 minerals that are in your kit. You'll also then be identifying igneous and sedimentary rocks. So once we learn and test on minerals, then we transition and learn about rocks. And the 3 rock types are igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. Afterwards, you'll do a little bit of rock review, and you'll have a practical during week 4 on rock identification, arguably your hardest practical of the semester. You also, in week 3, will begin the transition that we will make to maps, which is sort of the next big topic in your semester. So you'll learn minerals and then rocks, and then we'll talk about maps. We'll talk about a couple different types of maps. Intro to topographic maps just teaches you to read the margins of the maps. Topo 2, which you'll take after your rock practical. Your Topo 2 is much more involved, and that's where you'll learn to do latitude, longitude, and elevation on maps. During week 5, you'll take a mini practical on topo maps and complete what's called the water cycle lab. The water cycle lab is where you learn about glaciers, groundwater, and streams using topographic maps. So you can see that we take the topo mini practical in part because you need those skills to be able to do higher level thinking with topographic maps. Once you've taken that and you do your water cycle lab, during week 6, you will be doing a lab on seismology. Seismology is the study of earthquakes, and we'll be using Google Earth Pro to identify the location of earthquake epicenters. It's actually a super fun lab. And then that same week, you'll review and take your map practical. The last 2 weeks of lab are, 2 labs which are accomplished during week 7 are actually really fun. They're virtual field trips to places that we would typically go during a face-to-face semester, including Ellison Park, which is in Rochester, and then Mendon Ponds, which is south of Rochester in the Pittsford-Mendon region. And here you'll learn about glaciers, basically, and rivers. So the glacial lab is the features of Mendon Ponds, and how we do environmental assessment is the focus of the Ellison Park lab. So going back to lab content, you can see that Minerals 1 is, the minerals pre-lab is open. You can click right here and you will use chapter 3 of your textbook to answer the following questions. You can see that even though this is listed as a test, this isn't a test, and that it's untimed. You can take it as long as you want, and there are multiple attempts possible. And you'll use chapter 3 of your textbook, which you can see right here on your left side of your screen. There's a free online textbook. You can just right click and then open in a new tab and follow the link to the Intro to Geology, which is created by Salt Lake Community College, and then all of the chapters that you'll need are right here on the right hand margin. Okay, so and then Minerals 1 and Minerals 2 are open and available to you, so you can just go ahead and start those. For Minerals 1, there's an intro lecture, which I strongly advise that you watch because I kind of go through how you identify minerals. And then all of your minerals and lab sheets are inside here. These first couple files are how you are basically identification charts where you'll identify light colored minerals that are non-metallic, dark colored non-metallic minerals, as well as metallic minerals. And then there are 30 minerals that you'll identify. I know it looks like there's 32, but there's some missing. So this is a practice, and again, you can do these multiple times, submit as many times as you want, but basically these are the questions that help you identify minerals 1 through 10, 11 through 20, and then 21 through 32. And so that's your first lab. This lab is long. It should take you, in face-to-face, that takes us about 3 hours. And so that's Minerals 1. And you can kind of follow back here. Minerals 2 is basically a review. Here's just a little intro to it, but basically during Minerals 2, you're reviewing your minerals and you are completing at least 2 of these 5 activities that will help you review for your mineral test. What you do then at the bottom, so there's options 1 through 5, and then you can see that these are, you don't get to see that one, which is good because it's more work for you. Okay, so there's option 2, option 3, option 4, and option 5. And so you can go through and do as many of those as you want, but at least 2. And then at the bottom here, you're going to tell me what 2 assignments you completed for Minerals 2. So that's a really brief overview, of all of lab, as well as where you find your assignments. Again, that's under what's due when. Your lecture and your lab assignments are all in the same place. I do email you about once a week to remind you of everything that you have going on for the week. I have office hours, but you can always reach out to me and send me an email, and by appointment we will set up a time to talk. I showed you where your online textbook was, and then you can access this whenever you need to, either in lecture or in lab. All right, so that was really quick, but hopefully that helps you understand a little bit about how your lab is set up in this class. Have fun.